Hey guys, how's it going? In this video I'm going to be wiring in some Gerbin LH-12 heated glove liners onto my Honda CBR 600RR. So inside the pack from Gerbin you're going to get the actual liners themselves. They come with the wiring already built in. You're going to get the battery harness with an inline fuse holder as well. The actual controller unit, I think it's called the junior control unit from Gerbin. All of this stuff's going to get hidden up inside your jacket and down the sleeves, and this is what you'll actually use to control the temperature of the gloves. You're going to get the usual safety notices and such, and also a pack of inline fuses. So these are all of different power, so you can, if you get more equipment from Gerbin especially, it all uses the same wiring, so you can simply just swap out the fuse for a bigger one based on the documentation that's in the things that you bought to make sure you've got the relevant power there. So jump over to the bike. What we're going to be doing is we're going to whip off the seat. I'm going to whip off these screws and bolts here just to loosen this back pairing a little bit. And what I'm thinking of doing is actually stuffing the wiring up through here. This is actually my trickle charger. And then that way I can actually poke the wire out when I need it, stick the cowl back on, and the dongle that's going to connect to my jacket should just hang somewhere around here. And then obviously when I'm not using it through summer, I can stash all of the wiring back in there and keep it wired onto the bike. So I'll be back with you in just a minute when I've got the camera set up. Go ahead and remove the bolts that are underneath here. So in most bikes you'll find the bolts are actually just underneath the seat. Sometimes I have to just pull the seat to the side ever so slightly to reveal them. I have worked on bikes previously where you've actually got to go underneath the fascia to get to them, which is a bit of a pain. And then also a bike like the Aprilia, again it's an absolute nightmare to get to the seat because the seat's so rigid it barely bends back. But on the CBR actually couldn't be any easier. And you can't do your hands to get the screws out. There we go. And then similarly, we're just going to release these top bolts here just to give it a little bit of wiggle room. If you wanted to go all out, I mean, you could whip this back panel off really quickly. It's only another 2 bolts that hold it in place, but I don't think we actually have to take it out for what we're going to be doing just here. Okay. So I mean, you can see now it's given us a little bit of access, a little bit of wiggle room just to feed the wire in. That's going to be ample for us. Obviously you've got the battery just down here as well. So the next step is going to be to disconnect the battery. Now remember, always disconnect the negative terminal first before doing the positive, just to avoid any sparks. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove the negative terminal. So just want to be careful here that you don't lose appropriate screws. Stick them to the side. Terminal off. Move it well away from anything that it can catch. The last thing you want is it to move in and touch a positive wire here and create a short or a spark. So it would not be good. Of course, you need to remember as well, if you're going to disconnect your battery, that you need to reset the clock and any other similar electronics that you might have on the bike. Okay, easy as that. We're now going to grab the battery harness. So this literally couldn't be any easier if you tried. So I think what I'm going to do here is actually feed this side up rather than trying to get the fuse holder through the bottom of the fairing. So I'm just going to poke this somewhere up in this area. Something a bit like that will do just nicely for the time being. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and reconnect these up. Now I am going to stick the fuse back in here first, so let me just grab the appropriate size. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be using the 3 amp fuse. If you didn't already know, if you just check on the right on the inside, it's a bit bad to see on this one, it's quite often printed on white. It's going to specify what the amperage is on the fuse. In this case, let's pop this one open. Excuse me, fumbling around, my hands are so cold. I'm just in minus degrees in temperature here. He's going to sit in there, a little bit like that. Make sure it clicks into place, pop the lid back on, and that's not far from us good to go. So we're going to feed, obviously your red's always going to be a positive terminal, so I'm going to feed that back onto there. I'm going to stick the base for my trickle charger back in. Set that just to the side for a minute. Okay, so we're going to now just simply reconnect it all up in reverse. So we'll do the positive first this time, and then the negative. Got about that all wrong, you can tell it's been a long day here, can't you? Let's start that again. So, start fresh. So, positive terminal, put the screw in, that's the glove harness, and that's my trickle charger harness. Okay. It's nice and tight. Okay, and then we're going to go back and do the negative terminal. So again, it's exactly the same scenario. What the fuck am I doing here? Literally, what the fuck am I doing? Okay, so with the battery terminal still disconnected and the wiring in place, what we're going to do is go ahead and reconnect everything up. Now we're going to reconnect it with the positive first, then moving on to the negative. Now it's a little bit fiddly this, particularly because I've got cold, numb hands. But actually underneath the battery terminal here is a little bit of a little bolt. So what's basically going to bite onto this screw. Now just because of the location, it's a bit tricky to get a little span or anything in there to grip it. So actually all I'm going to do is just wedge a little bit of a plastic zip tie just inside it, just so it bites, so I can lift the screw up. So let's have a look here then. So we need first to get the positive terminal from our wiring. So I'm going to stick that one in. We're going to put the positive terminal on for the heated gloves, the positive terminal on for my trickle charge. Stick that onto there. Pop the makeshift spanner in. Should serve purpose just nicely. That's it. Easy as that. Okay. Actually stick your protective cover back on. So now we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing, only with the negative terminal. So we need, again, terminal from both the charger and also from the heated gloves, and the terminal, which I've hidden quite well down the bottom of there. Actually hid that from myself there for a moment. So both of those on there, so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Zip those ones up. And there you go, it's as easy as that, it really is. So we've got both of the wires up here now. I might just sort of have a tidy up with this just so it's a little bit Okay, so I've gone ahead and had a little bit of a tidy up. I've just hidden the wire we've just worked on here actually down just underneath the fuse box and just out of the way there. Zip tied all the fuses down together. So the idea now being really, I can simply post this little wire here that's going to connect into my jacket straight over like that. Let me just grab the rear piece. It's going to sit straight in. Surprisingly hard with one hand, and just like that. So it's going to connect straight up into my jacket. Obviously everything looks nice and tidy. Then comes the time of year when I'm actually not using it, I can just stash all of this back in this back compartment there, and no need to remove it or do anything with it. So I'm going to stick the bolts back in, put the seat back on, and start it up, and go and enjoy some riding where you can actually feel your hands for a change. So I hope that's helped you out, guys. Cheers.